Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to today's Harmony and Hustle session, a goal getter's game plan, success without the stress. And I am so happy that you're here today, either live or watching the replay. Today, we are going to talk about a very popular topic, and that is goal getting, but from a different lens or perspective. What we are actually going to try to do is forget about the setting of the goals and focus more on this new concept instead. Stay with me for just a moment. You are still in the right place if you see yourself as a goal getter and are seeking success without all of the side effects like stress, overwhelm, burnout. The list goes on and on. Conventional wisdom has claimed and told us over the years that the best way for us to achieve what we want in life is to simply set a goal as big as we want and hustle, 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 work, take action until we get there. But let's be real, if it was that easy, everybody would have success. What if all the results that you have achieved to date, and I know that those of you who are on this call or watching later have achieved great success, but what if perhaps you have achieved that because of your mindset that went into the systems that you created and followed, and not about the actual setting of the goal itself? Pause for just a moment and think, what would change if you ignored your goals and focused only on yourself, what you needed as a human being, and the creation of your systems? I believe that if you have a solid system that is customized just for you and your own unique needs, that you would be more successful. Now, I'm not saying that goals are the enemy here or entirely useless. Goals are a great way to start setting direction, but the mindset, the recognition that you are a human first, and systems are actually the best place for making progress and keeping you aligned so that you can actually enjoy yourself and the journey that you're on. It starts with defining what you want and working towards goals that actually matter. I hope that you're ready to dive in. Hey, everybody, I'm Jenny, and I am an executive life and leadership coach. I have a very specific mission, and my goal is to empower high achievers just like you to design a life that you are excited to live. I help you gain mastery over yourself and your life through mindset work, time management, organization, and productivity strategies and tools that we will customize together, individualized for you to achieve optimal success. And my specialization right now is creating that in such a way where you're not burning yourself out, stuck in a constant overwhelmed stress cycle, but rather harnessing the power of harmony and hustle. Let's take a closer look. Achieving goal or goals and success is a type of performance. Whether you're looking towards personal or professional performance, those are keywords that we hear about all of the time in the business world. And it's something that we link with management, right? Performance management. It's something we need to control. It's something we need to manage. But what if it was more about creating a culture for inspiring and supporting success rather than simply managing it? In my world, performance starts and ends with people, period. The people are those who are involved, how much they're involved, why they're involved, all make a really big difference in terms of whether or not the people get on board, stay on board for their own benefit. So when we're looking at personal and professional goals, what are you bringing to the table for yourself and the goal that you're chasing? The visuals currently on the slides are some of my favorites because they are the foundation for all of my coaching and my own life design. So let's take a quick look at what these pictures are speaking to. First, you'll see people, process, and performance. This is the foundation for everything. And if you haven't seen this before, it's going to rock your world. Let's start with the people piece of this structure, right? When we're talking about people and goals and success, then we're talking about you. You are the first person that matters when it comes to the goals and the life that you're trying to create for yourself. But within that people category, there are also the people within the spheres of influence for you, people at work, people at home, that also live here in this foundational piece. We're going to focus today on you. What is it that you're striving for? What kind of life is it that you want to live? What are the goals that you're currently chasing? And why? Because when you have clarity on your why, you amplify your will. When you have clarity on your why, you will amplify your will. But you still need some processes, some systems, some structure to help you go forward. But that system and that process and that structure needs to be designed or customized just for you. That will help you lead you towards the performance that you are seeking and ultimately success. And so you'll see in the other diagram that we have our heart and our mind, behavior and structures. Again, very people, process, performance oriented. Within the heart and mind, things like purpose, compassion, self-responsibility, insights, mindfulness, and intention. Getting clear on your why. Within your behaviors, those are the support systems that you have in place, the inspired actions that you're going to take, the actual setting of a goal or a system, your focus. Where are you investing your time and your energy and your efforts? And how open are you to be curious and responsive to the feedback that you get both from yourself as well as externally? Building structure for yourself to be successful within those processes. Accountability, your relationships, the tools, activities, and schedules become the structure to support you along the way. Today's session is designed to inspire and empower you towards greater clarity, freedom, and happiness. Clarity is all about getting clear on what success looks like to you, your specific goals, and why you want it. Freedom is important because we need to be able to clear your mind for success and transformation. Any goal often requires some level of change or transformation. And happiness is about spending more time in your zone or zones of genius as you hustle toward the goal, because that happiness creates a space for there to be harmony and enjoying more living in your life. So our objective today is for you to leave with greater clarity, have a path to freedom, and enjoy and experience more happiness. I want to empower you to define and design, own, and live your life. and goal getting in an intentional, holistic, and harmonious manner. To achieve that level of success with those objectives, we are going to look at people, you and those around you, and processes, so the systems and structures to support you. If you've been stuck at any time when chasing your goals, it's often more related to one of those two elements, people or process, than your ability to actually perform. Where do you think you get stuck the most? I'd love to hear it or see it in the comments today. And you're here because you wanted a game plan. Success without the stress is actually going to be a process. And just like in sports, having the right strategy can keep you in the game and help you come out on top and hopefully have fun along the way. Remember, even the most competitive of athletes still enjoy playing the sport. To be successful without stress, you absolutely need a game plan, a set of strategies and tactics with actionable steps to help you solve your specific problem or get you from point A to point B. But you need to also understand the context, the consequences of the problem and the solution that give you the best possible set of outcomes based on your inputs and resources that you have at your disposal. Think of your goal as big picture. You want to win the game, but in order to do that, you need to break down that goal into smaller objectives. Each objective you accomplish is going to lead you closer to reaching that original goal. But as we're going to discuss today, it's not all about the goal. It is the why that leads the way. So let's focus on the most important part of the equation, and that is you. For years, it has been all about the hustle. And the hustle is to move hurriedly or unceremoniously in a specific direction, to obtain by effort, forceful action, or persuasion. In other words, hustle has been defined as a busy movement or activity. And I spent most of my life working towards a career that provided for my family, that offered me challenge and progressive leadership roles. It was important to me. I defined success by being promoted, by making a difference, and by always taking on a new challenge. When the career wasn't enough, I took on other projects and passion projects, coaching, mentoring, extra projects at work, writing my book. Now, that's not to say that I didn't also want to be present in my family with my girls and my husband too. And I planned all the experiences, stressing out over making them perfect. Yes, I am a recovering perfectionist. My mission back then was to create as many memories as possible. I wanted to have it all, and maybe you can relate to that as well. I wanted the time at home. I wanted to create those memories and those experiences. I wanted time in nature, the traditions within the family, but I also wanted the career where I could make a name for myself and level up. So I kept my head down, I hustled, I worked, I put in the time at work, I did the best I could with my family with whatever energy I had left at the end of the day. Until one day I was forced to stop and take notice. This wasn't serving the people who I cared about most. In fact, this was actually getting in the way and creating a path to my own destruction. That's not to say that we can't have everything we want. We just need to get clear on our soul goals We have to permit ourselves to live the life that we are currently present in. And we should embrace choosing more harmony over hustle. Life is meant to be lived. Life happens when we are being rather than doing. Life happens when we are being rather than doing. So take a moment to look up, to look around you, to see that there is another option out there for you too. One where you can holistically have it all. Remember, you can define, design, own, and live your best life. Your legacy is awaiting you, and it's never too late to start. If hustle is doing something with intensity and intention, and harmony has sort of been created as this alternative concept to work-life balance, remember, work-life balance is a complete myth. Balance implies that two things are of equal value because you can't balance unless they're equal. Life and work are not equal, nor should they be in any season of your life. You shouldn't have to give up on one piece of your life while you're chasing another. So what I am learning is that it doesn't have to be one or the other. We simply need to learn how to put our energy into the right buckets at the right time. We need to create our own recipe and blend the amount of hustle with harmony. And when we're thinking about harmony, the harmony of something is the way in which its parts are combined into a powerful arrangement. Harmony is about alignment, flow, and peace. And I believe that we could all use more harmony in our life. Drop a hell yes in the chat if that was a huge aha for you and resonated. What does it mean to you to live a good life? Because before you can start chasing any goals, you need to have clarity on what it means to you to have a good or successful life. Is it about health, wealth, friendship, love, passion, purpose, all of the above, some of the above, or none of the above? No matter who you are or what you do, or what life brings your way, the question of what it means to live a good life resonates at the core of every single human being. And I believe it's more important now than ever because everything has changed. Our lives have been upended, tossed, turned, pivoted. The way we live, work, play, love, connect, think, and feel has been shifting from almost moment to moment for the last 3 years. All of those external elements that we relied on as markers of success, happiness, contentment, connection, safety, seemed all up in the air. This has been a moment of great stress in our lives, and in some cases has caused complete loss, a feeling of being lost, and an overwhelming sort of reckoning in our lives. But it has also been a moment of great potential and possibility. Consider this. All change begins with a disruptor as a catalyst for change. All change begins with a disruptor as a catalyst for change. And certainly COVID has been a disruptor, but likely at other places in your life, there have been other disruptors and catalysts. Think about what those have been for you in your life. And then hone in on, again, what does a good life look like to you? And more importantly, when will you know you have arrived? Oftentimes we chase success, we chase goals without a clear picture of what it will look like, what it will feel like when we have arrived at that destination. It all starts with the view from here. So I hope today that wherever you're joining, either live or in the replay, that there is a window close by where you can take a deep breath in and out and take a moment to enjoy the view from here. Figuratively, it's thinking and reflecting on where you are in this season in your life. What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? And what are you working towards? What are some of the catalysts or disruptors currently in your life? And what are they trying to tell you? And more importantly, are you listening? Transformation always starts from within. And because of that, your mindset matters. Because when the assumptions, systems, and structures that you have defined your life by for so long shift or change, it opens you up to new ways of feeling, thinking, and being. New opportunities to make decisions and take actions designed to reimagine your life on your terms. Your goals, your way, your terms, perhaps new terms. But before you can do that, you have to get brutally honest with where you are now, today. So my first question for you today, have you been struggling because you have been seeking or looking for balance in your life? How many goals or priorities are you currently working on? 1, 2, 10? Maybe on top of those big goals and priorities, you also have an out of control mailbox or an out of control to-do list. Give me a, that maybe sounds a little bit like me too. You only have a finite amount of capacity. You are a human being. We are designed to be before we do. And so when we think about that people piece of what we're looking at here, we're looking at your energy and capacity, your life goals and dreams, your life buckets, the choices that you make, and the processes that you design or customize must support you, the person, first, and then your goals. So you need to learn how to work on the right things at the right time. Create boundaries and customize your systems for you. All of the goals and all of the best intentions of the world aren't necessarily going to get you where you want to be if you can't be strategic and understand how those goals link with the priorities in your life. And then you need to choose where you're investing that time, that energy, that effort. As we've said before, it starts in the mind. So how would you describe your current state of mind? Awareness of your view from here and the goal or the role that your mindset is playing is key. So let's take a look at some of the keywords, which are the foundation of your current mindset, and how that can impact your work and your life. And let's do this from a mindset or a starting point of curiosity and not judgment. Defining these words will be enlightening for you. Success, productivity, stress, laziness, rest, hustle, harmony. Define your goals. Define goals. Define boundaries. Spend a little bit of time on these. Invest in understanding your current mindset and where you could shift to a new mindset, which would help you, empower you, support you as you chase your goals. So the first thing I want you to do is shout out to the world what your current goal is. Try to summarize that goal that you're chasing into 1 or 2 sentences. Think about it as an elevator pitch. Write out what your goal is, and then ask yourself these key questions. I am a coach after all. We are all about the questions and the answers that come from those questions because they provide the most important insights. Is this goal mine or someone else's? How do I feel about this goal? What is the purpose of the goal? What's the outcome that I am looking for? What does success look like? What does success feel like? Remember that if it is truly your goal, then your why, the purpose behind the goal, is what matters most. The how you can create when you truly have clarity on the what and the why. And we know that we need to do things a little bit differently, and here is why that is. Yesterday's hustle will not work today. I am seeing so many people right now stuck. And I have been there too. But the truth is that yesterday's tools, yesterday's strategies, yesterday's effort, yesterday's mindset is not serving us in today's culture, in today's climate, with today's goals. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Yesterday's hustle will not work today. Think of all of the things, the tools, the steps that you've taken before to achieve success, and flip the script. Because what you need today is likely different than what you needed yesterday. So in order to level up, we need to shift into a harmony and hustle mindset, not just hustle. When we've typically had a goal, yours or others, consider how you've traditionally approached it. Likely you created a plan and then you started to take action. And the stronger focus, this bigger amount of energy was on the hustle, the grind, and the getting shit done. But what if today, to level up, you get to choose a new path forward. And that new path forward begins with a pause and gaining awareness of your own state, taking some time to regulate that state if needed, and finding a path forward that creates one of harmony, that is more holistic. What would be possible if you invited more harmony, flow, or ease into your goal? What if achieving the goal actually required less effort? What are you willing to invest to see the goal through? And super important, what capacity do you currently have to work on this goal? Hey friends, we're human. There are going to be distractions along the way. How susceptible you are to these distractions is going to be related to the strength of the foundation that you have built along the way and the base camp that you have that you can go back to. If you found yourself feeling stuck, overthinking, struggling with deadlines, lacking structure, or running into constant obstacles, that can be super stressful. Understanding yourself and designing a plan to support you when these distractions arise is key. So, specific to the goal that you are working on, take a few minutes to think about what challenges you are likely to face along the way. What obstacles may pop up? What roadblocks might be there? Are there key stressors attached to the goal that you're working on, either internally or externally? I had a really big aha moment this week when I heard, and I can't remember where I heard it from, but the concept of second-hand stress. And that it impacts us sometimes to a greater degree than our own internal stress. So think about what stressors are currently in your environment that might be distractions to you. Maybe your systems or lack of systems are creating some issues and that you have too many goals, too many to-dos. How do we get past it? Well, the first thing we need to think about is that people part. You matter. So before you even get to your plan, you need to power up yourself first. And then once you've powered yourself up with understanding what your inspirations are, what your motivations are, when you start to design your plan, you need to customize it to yourself. And I often go back to that coffee analogy. Many of us choose to go to a specialty coffee place because it creates the environment we're looking for. There's consistency in delivery, but also the ability now for us to customize that beverage just for our own needs. What does that have to do with personal development? Well, if you're anything like me and you're a bit of a personal development junkie too, maybe you have bookshelves with all sorts of books on those shelves. And instead of calling those books self-help books, I started calling them shelf-help books. Because until you take that book off the shelf and read it and make it your own, it doesn't have any impact. That beverage that you're customizing doesn't taste as good without your unique customizations. And the same is true when you're developing a plan for your own success. It needs to speak to you as the person first. Then you get to develop this toolbox, strategies and structures to support you. You need to get clear on what matters and why it matters, and then say yes only to the things that matter. Say yes only to the things that matter. begin to work with the foundation and the structure of people and process to achieve the performance that you're looking for. And I want you to be a goal getter. And here's an interesting thought, is that sometimes being a goal getter is confused with being a go getter. Now, don't take this the wrong way, because there's nothing wrong with being a go getter, right? They are those active types who like to hustle hard every day. And I was a goal getter for many of my career days. However, at that time, I confused activity with achievement. I took on other people's goals. So just because I was the first to arrive at work and the last to leave doesn't mean that I was achieving at the highest level. Just because I was accessible 24/7 doesn't mean that I was truly serving myself or my staff. Don't let that happen to you. Be a goal getter, an intentional, soulful goal getter, and not simply a go getter, so that you can get everything you desire out of life. Remember that goals are there to inspire you, not to beat yourself up with. Is your goal leading you directly into a critical mindset? And are you beating yourself up over achieving the goal or not achieving the goal, rather than having that goal truly inspire you? To be a goal getter, you need to have that clear vision. I want you to think about choosing different types of goals. It's possible that how you've worded your goal isn't aligned with a value. And so if you need help with that, that's where a coach can come into play to help you get more understanding of how it is you're working around goals. One of my key things when I'm talking about burnout and overwhelm and stress, you'll see on this slide something called goal sizing. Is your goal the right size for you to be working on now? Is it too big? Then perhaps it's time to break it into some smaller goals. Is it too small or lackluster or uninspiring? Then maybe it needs to be jazzed up a little bit or stretched further. I like to look at a goal and come up with 3 different target levels. So what would the minimum super easy level of the goal be to achieve? What would your target level of that goal be to achieve? And what would your extraordinary level of the goal be to achieve? And sometimes we get caught up in making everything too big and too hard. And we could look and allow for some space for it to be easier. And with any goal, resources and taking action is key. But I think sometimes we also look at goals and we feel like we're starting from scratch. We feel like life has changed. And in order for us to have this transformation, this transition, we're starting with a blank slate, and that's not true. We're always starting from where you are, and where you are has so many lived experiences, so many successes, so much strength, so many tools and skills that have led you to this point. You are never starting from zero. But we have a choice to shift our energy and shift towards harmony instead of always being in a hustle state. And so I invite you to notice the source of energy that you are currently drawing on as you set yourself up for success on your terms. And when you need to actively, consciously shift your states, think about taking time to pause and ground to regulate or reset. Getting to the root of some of those stories, which are often lies that we've told ourselves over time. Going back to the beginning today, where we were talking about defining some of those words, defining success. Has a previous story about success impacted what we believe to be true? Learning to let things be easier, simplifying some of our systems and structures, curating those systems and structures or customizing them to suit you, how you think, how you process information. And the biggest thing when shifting into harmony is an extra dose of compassion. We can all love ourselves a little bit more and give ourselves a little bit of space. I believe that we all have a fire inside and a spark that ignites us. And following that fire is about shedding the layers of life that life has put on us over time, finding our unique gifts and sharing them with the world. The spark is leaning into ideas, dreams, creativity, ditching the tolerations and settling for what we have, then leaning into our courage to forge a new path forward in the life that we really want. Yes, it's also about feeling terrified and then finding your North Star and the strength to push past our old belief systems while charting new ones. It's about designing the life that you were meant to lead and living your legacy with passion and purpose. Defining your life, designing your life, owning it, and then living it with the perfect blend of harmony and hustle is what I am here for. And if you are here for that, and if any of today sparked, oh my goodness, yes, I can move forward. I just need to take better care of me or look at things a little bit differently, then I am here to serve and support you. Don't hesitate to book a discovery call and learn about how I can do that in either one-on-one coaching or the Soul Spark community, which is an incredible group of high vibe, purpose-driven women who are working towards their goals with the harmony and hustle vibe. I would love to see you there. Thank you so much for sharing your time today and investing in you and your dreams and your goals and finding a better way forward, curating and creating your path to success without the stress. Take care, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you at a future session.